knowledge and wisdom. It's inside of us. It's been there all along. Amen. I want to thank everybody for your birthday love, your birthday wishes. There is a little note in your program just to thank everybody, because if I wrote out the thank you cards, I wouldn't have been able to get a lecture together. So thank you, and you can read my sentiments of love in your program. I found a little funny that I will share with you. It says that a little girl asked her mother, "How did the human race appear?" And the mother answered, "God made Adam and Eve, and then from there they had children, and so mankind was made." 2 days later, the little girl asked her father the same question. And the father said that many years ago there were monkeys, which the human race evolved. The confused little girl went back to her mom and said, "You told me that the human race came from God. And Dad said that they were developed from monkeys." And she said, "How is that possible?" And the mother said, "Well, very simple, baby. My side of the family came from God." Active faith. Chapter 10, our textbook, faith. I pray that we are awakening this month to the fact that faith is shaping, molding spiritual substance. That faith, a magnetic power that draws unto us our heart's desires from the unseen. In other words, that we seek is in the invisible for the taking. I was reading a scenario by Frederick Bales, and it says that a man, a city dweller most of his life, had never planted anything. His family was now living in the mountains in the center of a wildflower district, but there was no flowers near their home. So he went out and bought some packages of wildflower seeds and planted them in a place that the family could see from the breakfast table. And he told his wife, "I don't really believe those seeds are going to come up, because I've never planted anything before." And her answer to him was classic. She said, "Faith is not necessarily your feelings about the seeds. Your faith consisted in poking those holes in the ground and dropping the seeds and patting the ground to close it up. The rest of it is up to God." So just wait and see that God will do the rest. And of course, they had a blaze of wildflowers in a few weeks that they could see from the breakfast table. And so it tells us that we're so worried about how everything is going to unfold, not trusting God, not having active faith in the invisible and what's absolutely possible. So when we do our part, we trust God to do the rest. The power and the presence of God is all around. We can look around and see everything that God has done through the human. His business was to purchase and plant. Active faith, God's love, law, and intelligence does the rest. That led me to think about how we have simple faith in the outer. We don't think twice about taking a breath. We have faith that our heart will beat. We know that if we get up, we can move from one point to the other, not even thinking about it, just getting up automatically and moving. Sticking our key in the ignition of our car, we have faith that it's going to start. And nowadays, with the hybrids, you can just push that button. When we turn on and flip the light switch, we have no doubt that that light is going to come on. Even the seasons, we know without thinking that winter, spring, summer, and fall is coming. And it's going to show up. We make plans. We go visit people. We go on vacations. But in and of the power of God and its principles, we question it. We seem to have to talk and pray our way to it. We have so many sleepless nights, many vices we think will get us through. For a lot of us, maybe it's not God that we're not trusting, but maybe we question our human aspect. With all the things I've done or didn't do, all the thoughts that I said and didn't say. Maybe it's my status. Maybe the dysfunction of all kinds in my family. Could it be my looks? Could it be I did not finish school? Could it be my dad or my mom wasn't there? Could it be I was adopted? Wondering why and how. So many reasons why we may not feel worthy to request, require, or be willing to receive God's unconditional love and blessings for our lives. Well, can I step on some toes right now and tell us it's not about us? It's about God and God's whole family. It's about the divine presence and power that deserves the best from each of us. Through us, on behalf of it. The thing itself, Spirit, the Creator, Father, infinite intelligence. As Reverend Gerald said last week, it is only one power, and how we use it determines the state of our world and the state of our lives. Let us put up the divine picture in mind. That is, use our imagination to see something beautiful for ourselves, a peaceful life, a loving life. Put up the divine picture in your mind. That picture that represents God's promise. If undesirable pictures show up, don't hang them up. How often, hardly ever, will you see a picture you don't like and hang it in your house? So why are we hanging up those thoughts and those pictures in our minds that are undesirable, that is not representative of the divine child that we are? When Reverend Gerald talked about Abraham demonstrating active faith by consciously, continuously searching, when he said he was moving from place to place for spiritual substance through thoughts, words, and actions. And it reminded me, it reiterated what Sherwood sung, I'm available. Abraham's active faith allowed him to walk in the assurance and do whatever was needed to express the seed was available to purchase. Abraham showed God, I'm available. The sun is available for us to bask in its radiant light. The stars are available to gaze in at night. Possibilities and opportunities of all kinds are availed to each of us. The question is, are we available? We are God's masterpiece, so wonderfully made. If we don't believe that we are as powerful as Jesus said, then why not? Unworthiness, unbelief, misplaced faith, lack of trust in the unseen. Deuteronomy 30:19 says this, today I have given you the choice between life and death, between blessings and curses. How now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life so that you and your descendants might live. Loving, kindness, service, joy, peace, all of those heavenly thoughts, choices which brings to the earth wonderful, divine experiences. We can have heaven right here on earth. It depends on what we're choosing. Are we choosing health or giving in to sickness? Are we choosing love? Or are we continue to go around those people that we say we don't hate? I read another joke and it says, that I know that you've chosen your own God because you believe God hates the same people you do. Matthew 4:17. Changing the way we think changes our perspective, which changes how we act in the world. Paul's words are not new. Changing our mind is the main theme of Jesus' first sermon. New thought leaders and this teaching challenges us to change our thinking, because regardless of how many times we read, hear scripture, text, or a sermon, if our mind does not evolve, we will continue to experience low energy living. What we believe in our hearts is the controlling force of our lives. We are either being controlled by faith in good and God, or controlled by fear, misplaced faith. I read this little short story. It said in India, the spirit of the plague passed an old man sitting under a tree. The old man asked, where are you going? And the answer was Benares, which is liberation from the cycle of death. It's a rebirth, reincarnation, being transformed by the renewing. And he says, I'm going to slay 100 people. Later, the old man heard that 10,000 was slain. The plague passed the old man again on the return. And the old man said, you said you were only going to slay 100, but 10,000 was killed. The plague said, I slayed 100. Fear killed the rest. And that's what fear does to us, is it kills our dreams. It kills great living. It kills the opportunities and possibilities that are awaiting our recognition. A writer says that when we say yes to fear, we are saying no to a meaningful life. When life's problems and challenges show up, they're only about expanding ourselves beyond the comfortable confines of our previous experiences. Albert Einstein says the same mind or thinking that created a problem cannot be the same mind that solves it. The mind to solve the problem must be renewed. Yes. Active faith is required to grow and expand beyond where we might find ourselves at any given time. Yes. So we have to be renewed by our thinking. Yes. Those old thoughts don't serve us any longer. Right. God is new every day. Right. We are who we are today because we made it through some tough but life-changing spurts of spiritual growth. Through those challenges, it made us who we are today. And we are strong, searching people, knowing that the power of God is moving in, through, and as us, even as I speak right now. What do we do with the power that God has blessed us with? What do we do with the power that's healing every cell, muscle, and organ right now? As you speak, see, mind over matter. Our mind can speak to anything. Our bodies are matter. And if we speak to it and believe with active faith that we can be healed, that we can be transformed, that we can be renewed, the cells, the muscles, the organs have to obey. We are in charge. We cannot stop growing. This is a beautiful world God gave us. And with God, we can see it more clearly and experience it more deeply. Yeah. Speaking of God's creation, we are in the fall, autumn season right now. And this season represents time of transition. Letting go of the old. Thoughts, beliefs, habits that hinder. People that want you to not grow, have, or be your best. Letting go and cleansing is active faith. Preparing to receive, experience, and express anew. After fall is winter. That stillness, hibernation, retreating from the former, mentally, physically, emotionally, and dwelling in silence. Active faith, again, preparing. Remember, everything that ever was and it will ever be already exists. Yes. All these computers and things existed in scriptural days. It only takes a mind to discover. Yes. Everything is already there for the taking. After winter, spring, a season of renewal. The earth, the soul, has awakened from its slumber and explodes with new life, new ideas, new projects, new seeds, refreshed. Hallelujah. And when you feel new, enlightened, refreshed, and awake, here comes summer. Yes. The full extent of life and life. Think about it. We show more in the summertime. We do more. We become more in the summertime. So the seasons, everything is connected. We're connected to everything because everything comes from the one, God. And so seasons speak to us to tell us to be still sometime, to tell us to pray and meditate sometime, to let go of those old things sometimes. For everything must change. See, this is spiritual talk. Implementing the connection, the unity of all that God has created. Restoration, transformation, renewal is necessary in order to express divine light. In Luke 5:37 and 39, it says that no man, talking about the human, put new wine into old wine skins. Otherwise, the new skins will burst, and the new will spill. the skin will perish. The new must be put into fresh skins. No man having partake of the old desire the new, for we say that the old is good. Change can be scary. The old is familiar and we tend to go back to it. And even after we've put in much work to change, we diet and then we leave someone and then we stop a bad habit and then we start back going to church and then we start to save money and then we get in a prayer meditation rhythm and then we tell continuous begging folks no more and then we start back smiling and speaking and then we volunteer for a great cause and then so we start things and we work so hard to do it and then all of a sudden the old taps us on the back and we're ready to retreat to the familiar instead of sticking it out and getting the new. It is worth it. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. The change that is sitting at the seat of our consciousness, burning in our hearts, stirring in our soul, is awaiting our commitment, our faith in the process, the love of God to see us through. The wine symbolizes the vitality that forms the connecting, blending between the soul and the body. Spiritual form, the marriage of wisdom and faith and acceptance. Skin represents the vessel, the conduit, the container, if you will. So we represent the skin. What are we going to pour into our thinking capacity? What are we going to believe about ourselves? We can talk about it, but do we really believe it? Is our faith active enough to keep stirring up the truth that it sits in our consciousness and not fall down again? What are we doing with our lives? What is our conversation? Not only to others, but to ourselves. What is it about? What are we talking about? Are we saying that I am a son and daughter of the Most High God, that all opportunities and possibilities are availed to me? Are we saying that I got a diagnosis, but I know that with my thinking, my faith, and my belief, that God can heal? Are we saying that I may not have as much as I want, but there's more? The universal purse is open and waiting for us to consciously, spiritually accept it. The new Christ life being able to express where the old resided. That's what it's all about. Whatever is in us will eventually show up through our vessel, through our thinking, through our believing. What are we believing? The transformation through letting go, sitting still. Wayne Dyer said there is more to life than making it go faster. The renewed soul, the awakened soul, and then allowing God to show up as you, as me. The oak sleeps in the acorn. The bird sleeps in the egg. The fruits, vegetable, plants, and flowers sleeps in the seed. The sun sets only to rise. We were ideas in the mind of God only to make our interest on the planet at the perfect time. We are here for a purpose, on purpose. And we must find that purpose, and it's sitting right inside of us, and it's been there all along. In order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thought that will weaken this conviction. Faith is built from belief, acceptance, and trust. When one of these is betrayed, they all suffer. Our life is a part of God. Can we get over ourselves, get our bloated nothingness out of the way, and let the Supreme Being do its promise? We're talking about faith, a spiritual conviction. We have the choice to choose today whom ye shall serve. For as the human thinketh, so are we. We must monitor like we monitor everything else. Our thinking. We put alarms on our cars and houses to keep them safe and not let nobody steal or take. What about the spiritual alarm that you should put on your consciousness to not let nothing rob you of greater fruits? And what about putting that spiritual lock on your heart? And asking God for that person and just quit picking them yourself. God knows his children. is looking for you. We got to stop letting people come and step all over our hearts. Irene sends these spiritual vitamins, these sayings, every morning. I love them. And one that she sent, it said, I refuse to let you walk around in my mind with your dirty feet. We have the power to change ourselves, our world, to let our young ones, our children, see a greater demonstration of living. A lot of our young people don't like to go to church anymore because their mothers and aunties and grandmothers go to church, but they come back doing the same thing. They come back gossiping, talking, backbiting, so why go? You don't need to go to church to keep doing the same thing. We come to a spiritual entity to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, to be reminded of what truth really is and what God is in us. Active faith means our participation every moment of every day. Peace and blessings.